Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake goes by.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out your eyes. They new to the fam, Jay. That's it. My word. My word. You tell me where they at, we'll do them right now.
Wow, man. I had to dig that out of the crate right there.
I don't know where you found
man,
that Deep clip.
Hill, I had to go deep with that one, man, because
I had blonde hair back then.
I remember that.
That's right. Cisco stole that from
Cisco bit your idea.
Can you believe it?
And did you write the thong song too?
No, I didn't.
Hill Harper is here. That was a scene from In Too Deep with Omar Epps.
Omar Epps.
And then LL Cool J.
Yeah.
Played God.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And that to me was one of the best characters that LL nailed at that time as an actor.
Yeah. He had his acting coach with him on the set every day. So it wasn't just the director, his acting coach was there and he worked really hard on that. You know, we shot that movie on location in Cincinnati and in Toronto. We were all over, and he did. I thought he did an outstanding job.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And then Omar was great. Jay Reed.
Yeah, everybody. That was a great movie. In Too Deep, if you never saw, came out about 1999, 2000. Yep. Man, pick that up. Hill Harper is here. We've seen him in everything.
Hey.
He's done a lot of great work for Colored Girls, Million Man March.
Right? Get on the bus.
Get on the bus.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And he got game right after that.
And he got game right after that. CSI.
New York,
New York. You got Covert Affairs.
Covert Affairs now.
Right now.
Unfortunately, they put us on at the same time the Scandal's on. So you got a DVR. You got a DVR. One of the shows.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know what they do is the networks look at the ratings. If you watch it within 3 days, they call it L3, and if you watch it within 7 days, that you DVR, so it still counts.
Oh, okay.
It still counts?
It still counts.
All right.
So you can DVR and watch it, and so it's a great show. I'm having a great time. We just got back from Hong Kong. Covert Affairs shoots all over the world.
Yeah.
So we shot in Colombia and Medellin. We shot in Vienna. Just got back from Hong Kong.
Stunned on us. Hill Harper is on here stunned on us, man.
No, I'm just saying, if you want to see, it's the real, because most shows are fake, right? They don't actually take place where they take place, right? Almost every single show. But Covert Affairs is unique in the sense that if it says we're someplace, we're actually that place in the world.
Wow.
It's kind of cool. Cool.
Next, you're going to tell us you're friends with the president or something, man.
Oh,
I just don't understand. Hill Harper is here, ladies and gentlemen. You're an outstanding author. Letters to a young brother. Letters to a young sister. Letters to an Incarcerated Brother is a book, the current book.
Just came out yesterday.
And this is a fascinating book. What was the inspiration behind the book, first and foremost?
The first inspiration is a letter. That's the first letter that's in the book. It's actually written from a young man named Brian that was sent to me. Yeah. And I'm flipping through pages right now, y'all. He sends me this letter that says...
that was it right there.
No, this is it
right
here.
there. Okay.
It says, Dear Hill Harper, my name is Brian. I'm 16 years old and I'm in jail. I can't use a computer, so I can't email you. I wrote these to some place in New York, and I hope and pray they fax these letters to you or give it to you some way, because I really want to talk to you about a lot of stuff, Hill. I just finished reading your book, Letters to a Young Brother. It was the best book I ever read in my life, and I mean that. So if Penguin Ink give you these letters, I'd like to have your home address so we can correspond back and forth to each other. Like you said in your book, many young people don't have a role model. I didn't have one. That's why I'm in jail. But I have one now. His name's Hill Harper. Wow. When I got this letter, and you keep reading, you see the vulnerability in this young man. Tears came to my eyes, and I realized that I wanted to reach out to him, but I didn't know exactly what to say, what I was going to do. And then what started to happen was judges started assigning book reports for my book, Letters to Young Brother. So I started getting all these book reports from wardens and all sorts of people, and then a lot of letters. So I got so many letters from people who are incarcerated. I was trying to figure out, how can I make a difference? What can I do? And I realized it's about actually helping coming up with a system, shining light on this mass incarceration crisis that we have in this country, and providing inspiration and also concrete steps and prescriptions for folks who are coming out, because 85% of the people who are incarcerated today will be out in the next 10 years, right? And so what happens when they come out, though? And I've learned so much, and I hope that people get this and they understand this book just isn't for people who are in physical prisons. Many of us are in metaphorical prisons, prisons not made of iron bars, that I hope the book will help set free. Many of us are in a prison of debt or fear or stuck in a job, and we don't have the courage to really break out, or we don't have the prescription, or we don't have the techniques to get out of it. And that's what this book is about. Letters to an Incarcerated Brother. We're all brothers and sisters, and that's the connected, and we're all locked up in our own ways.
Hill Harper, ladies and gentlemen. This reminded me of when I was your mission in this, what you're doing with this book, and what you actually are doing outside in real life. Reminded me of a lot of work I did with MTV, and we were speaking with young veterans who were coming back and from the war, whether if they were in Afghanistan or were in Iraq, and when they came back, they didn't know how to transition back into everyday society.
Right.
And there weren't any programs set up at that time to for transitional proper transitional housing, and kind of deprogramming their minds to live and walk a life in regular society. And I feel like people who are incarcerated for a big period of time have the hardest time transitioning back into everyday society.
It's one of the hardest things that anybody can do. And here's the deal. I mean, at the end of the day, you come out with this. First of all, you've been left behind as far as technology goes.
Yeah.
Okay. Most of these prisons, they don't have any kind of training services or any way for rehabilitation, because obviously many of them, particularly the private ones, are incentivized for people to come back. Because there's money being made off of incarceration. You got to understand that most of us as taxpayers, we're subsidizing a very small group of individuals that are getting rich off incarceration. Okay,
Yeah.
and so what happens is you come out with a felony. And one of the things that we're pushing is a simple thing. Just move the box. For instance, you go to a major corporation or a place to get a job. On the first application, it asks you, have you ever been convicted of a felony? And the simple thing we could do is remove that question and make it in your second interview. So at least if that's somebody you would sit down with in your second interview, you ask the question then. So at least you had to meet them face to face before you got that answer. And that's just one simple thing to do to move the box. And getting a legitimate job is one of the most difficult things you can do when you have a felony on your record. That's why entrepreneurship training is what we talk about a lot in the book to help brothers coming out, sisters coming out, because you may have to, early on, not get that traditional job. You may have to set up your own business, but it's possible.
It's possible. Hill Harper is here. The book is Letters to an Incarcerated Brother. You can go online and purchase this right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you can go online, purchase it right now, Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com. And moreover, a lot of people told me, listen, I want to get this into the prisons. So I set up a website, incarceratedbrother.com, www.incarceratedbrother.com, where you can go, you can search your state, find prisons in your state with the name of the warden, send the book, buy the book, go to Amazon.com right now, send the book to the warden in your state or a prison that you want to in your state, and tell them it's for the prison library. Get this book inside of prisons. Help me gift this book, because it has to be a gifted book.
Yeah.
Brothers can't walk into Barnes & Nobles and buy the book, right? So it has to be gifted to the prisons. You go to incarceratedbrother.com, you can see gifted to a prison in your state, out of your state, wherever you want. But the point is, let's get this book into the prison.
I'm going to take some phone calls, 888-742-3345. One of our own, Lupe Fiasco, actually wrote a letter that's in this book.
Yep.
And then I want to ask you, Hill Harper, the flip side of this. These people are incarcerated. Some of them are guilty. Why should we even care? That's up next. Sway in the Morning.
This whole thing is sloppy, and now I have to clean it up.
That's from Covert Affairs, starring Hill Harper. This is on the USA Channel Thursday nights on 10 p.m. Eastern. But today we're talking about his brand new book, Letters to an Incarcerated Brother. Letters from inmates, people who have been incarcerated, but you also have some resolution in there as well. You got this. I read through this briefly. The 7 C's.
Yeah.
What are the 7 C's?
So the 7 C's are just a technique of using there's C words to sort of get your life back on track and just focusing on C words. So the number one word of the 7 C's is courage. The etymology, the root of that word is kur, which means heart. So you got to bring your heart to it. The other one is curiosity. Many of us, we lose our curiosity. You got to stay curious to find out new solutions. The next one is creativity. You got to be creative to be able to solve obstacles as they come your way, okay? The next one is confidence. You have to have confidence to actually step out and do something and go for it, okay? And then the next one is completion, okay? So many of us don't complete what we start. Many of us say, it's like, particularly in Hollywood, I know you guys in entertainment, I mean, some of you are like, oh yeah, man, I'm working on that script, or I'm gonna do this movie, or I got this track, right? We never even finish it so we can actually clear out and move on to the next thing. And then the next C, and perhaps probably the most important C, is character.
Character.
You got to have character because that's the only way people can trust your word. That's the only way actually you're going to be able to build something that's sustainable, because even if something is handed to you, if you don't have character, it will go away. It'll find its way away from you. So being a person of deep character is vital. And so you put all these seeds together and you work on that. If you work all these things, there's no way you cannot be successful.
Wow.
There's no way you can't be successful.
Hill Harper, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
You know, I want to apologize to Hill too, man, because last time we saw each other, we exchanged numbers, and you know, I talked about this before, and my phone kept butt dialing Hill. You know, at the strangest time. You remember this? I kept calling his phone. I thought he was gonna think I was weird, like or some type of pest. It was my phone, Hill. I just want to say that for the record. Do you remember my phone kept dialing?
That was a long time.
That was a long time ago. You forgave me
ago.
for that.
Yeah,
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
That's
Go ahead, Heather. I just wanted to say that for the record.
For a lot of the citizens out there that listen to the show, and even for me, it hits close to home with your book. How do you, I have a nephew that's coming home from prison very shortly. You hear people in prison all the time, when I get out, I'm going to do better. I'm going to get a job. I'm going to do this. How do you be a support system? Because we're so used to people saying it,
Right.
and then they don't complete.
They don't. Here's the deal. Most people, I talk about this. See, most of us, all of us, whether you're in prison or out of prison, we all can articulate what we want. Like if I ask you what you want, your goals, your dreams, what you want, everybody can do that. But then you ask that next question is, okay, how are you going to get precisely from where you're at right now to what you just said you want? And most people say, well, I'll work hard. It's too general.
Yeah.
Most of us don't have a specific plan. And so I really break it down in the book. This idea, the best way you can help him coming out is help him create a blueprint or a plan. I call it being an active architect of your own life. The idea we can build any life we want like an architect builds a building. But what do they start with? They start with a blueprint. They start with a blueprint that's not just, a structure of a building, like, it's 17 stories. No, they know how big the tiles are in the 17th bathroom in the middle of the floor. Everything is that specific. And we have to be that specific about our lives. So you have to tell him, how is he going to use every minute of every day? He needs to plan out from 6 a.m. when he gets up to 6:30. Maybe he does a little exercise. From 6:30 to 6:50, he's going to brush his teeth and get some food. At 7 o'clock, he's going to make 7 phone calls that he needs to reach out to people for that next job. Now it's 7:45, and he plans every day like that he's out every single day that fits into a daily plan, a weekly plan, a monthly plan, a year plan, a 5-year plan. And if you're that detailed and you stick to that plan, and be creative when the obstacles come and modify the plan, there's no way you can't have it. But most of us, what do? I call it the lotto mentality. We say we're working really hard, we get frustrated, we end up wasting most of the hours of the day saying, damn, everybody else has got it better than me. Yeah. How come I couldn't win? And how come I'm messed up? It's, F this, F that, da-da-da-da-da, I'm done. And then we quit, and that's when it's over.
Wow.
I want to ask you this, because there are a lot of people who are incarcerated that committed crimes.
Yes.
Heinous crimes at some time,
yes.
Some instances. There are a lot of people who don't care about someone who's in prison because they feel like they should be there anyway.
Yes.
Why should we care?
You should care because the crime should fit the time. And because here's the deal. The way our country has begun to incarcerate people, the actual penalty is so much greater than the actual crime, because most people are incarcerated for nonviolent drug offenses. Yeah. So it could be I work with somebody 5 grams of powder crack cocaine. Okay. Now, do I advocate dealing poison in our community? No, I hate it. Yeah. I hate it. Right. I don't want it. I don't like it. But that doesn't mean I'm going to write you off for the rest of your life because you made that mistake during that part of your life. I'm going to try to figure out a way to help you stop dealing poison and you become a role model to other people who are in the community. So what happens is, but if you get 14 years for 5 grams, and you get a felony, you come out, you can't get a job, that doesn't fit. That doesn't fit the crime.
That doesn't fit.
You didn't kill anybody. Yeah. You didn't rape anybody. You didn't shoot anybody. You had 5 grams in a stop and frisk stop. You weren't even selling at the time. You had it in your back pocket. It doesn't fit. So you have to make sure that the time fits the crime, and we're way out of whack right now in this country with that.
I want to take some phone calls. 888-742-3345. We're talking about the book, Letters to an Incarcerated Brother. We have, that person just hung up. We have Trina on the line right now from Georgia. Trina, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing all right. Say hello to Hill Harper.
Hi, Hill Harper.
Hey, Trina. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Good. What's going on?
I was incarcerated for 3.5 years because I stabbed my boyfriend because he was beating on me.
Okay.
And then I was at 17 at the time in the state of Georgia. They tried me as an adult when you 17.
Okay.
And I can't get a job. I'm traumatized.
Okay. So what are you doing? Are you working with any of the local organizations that work with formerly incarcerated folks, or are you working with any church groups, or do you have any kind of support system around you right now?
No, sir.
Okay. So how can we set up a plan for you to be able to identify the people in your local community where there are some resources that can at least begin? You know, right now today we still have half a day left. You could make at least. You have a phone, all right? You're calling me from a phone, right? So you do have a phone.
Right.
Okay. So let's do this. Can you get onto a computer? Can you do a search? Okay, so I want you to go on, whether it's your local library or a computer you have access to, I want you to search rehabilitation, ex-felon rehabilitation, prisons, all these different keywords about being out of prison in your local area and see what comes up. Okay. And then I want you to call all of these different things. You may get like 8 or 10 different organizations. I don't know what they are in your area. Call them and ask them, explain to them your story and say, I need help. And I need to know what services you offer. And maybe you'll end up working with more than one of these organizations. Don't just count on one. Another thing you can do is go to your local church. If you have a relationship with someone who's in a church, many churches in our communities have prison outreach, and they also have outreach to help folks, right? And I'm not trying to push religion on you, but I am trying to push getting resources from wherever you can find them. You understand? And so go on and do those things. If you start working those areas, you'll build what I call your own personal board of directors. You need to build your own support system. You shouldn't be out there on your own.
Thank you.
Okay, Trina, you're going to try that, right? You're going to do those things today?
Of course.
And if you don't have the money, go to your library and have them get this book and check it out from the library, because it has a lot of tools in there that'll help you. You don't have to buy it if you don't have the money. That, you know, if you don't have the resources, just get it from your local library. Okay, have the library buy it.
All right, good luck, Trina.
Thank you.
All right, Alex is a ex-con from North Dakota, and you've been listening to our conversation, right, Alex?
Oh yeah.
And can you relate to this?
Oh man, I really can. First of all, how you doing, Hill Harper?
Hey, Alex, how you doing, brother?
Hey, I want to say what you're doing is pretty damn slick, because when I got out, there wasn't squat, and it was just kind of that revolving door. I was like booking before I even made it out. I was already booking my next stay.
Yeah.
And it was just because there wasn't anything. You know, you like you said, move the box. You know, you go in and you think you have a great interview, then they're checking through your application, and they just stop it right there. You see the look come over, and they just fade out.
Yeah.
Anything you say to them after that, they don't care. They don't want to hear it, and it really kind of it's defeating. You know, personally.
Have you been able to find work, legitimate work?
Oh yeah, I'm actually what you would call a success case.
Oh, great.
I got out. Let me see, 15 years ago. And with due diligence and your basically the same things as your C's. Little goals make big plans is how I called it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Just
all right,
following through.
All right, Alex, man, we're proud of you, man, and you're a great representation. All right, brother.
Yo, you know, man, this is a great book, Hill Harper, man, and man, keep up the excellent work. This is so needed, and I commend you. You don't have to do this. You choose to do this, and I can't wait to read all the way through the book. I've been reading it all for the past 24 hours.
You got Lupe's letter in there.
Yeah, I got Lupe's letter. Lupe wrote a letter, too, that says, everybody within 6 feet of me has been to prison, whether it's my assistant, my brother, my cousin, who is just now getting sentenced for drug charges. So I have a fully formed relationship with the black incarcerated mind and the institutionalized mentality. There's no push to learn who you are and why you are doing what you're doing and how you can stop, but you can stop yourself from participating in it. He goes on to say a whole lot of different things as well. He even speaks on entertainment things that, let me see, what Brothers needs is less entertainment and more focus on real solid things that they can actually use, because now entertainment has become commercial. Hip hop can be used as inspiration, or it could be used to sell things. On the other hand, pure education is not commercial. The history, philosophy, and teachings of the world are not commercial. They are solid and concentrated. This is from Lupe Fiasco. Russell Simmons has written a letter here.
Russell Simmons, Lupe, Ben Chavis, Michael Steele, Lemon Anderson, who's this great spoken word poet, great artist who spent time in prison. I got so much respect for him. So many different people. Because, listen, let's be very clear. I don't represent myself to be an expert in any of my books. I'm not the expert. I'm just like anybody else trying to figure it out. So I try to go to people who have different ideas. Dr. Rudy Tanzi, Harvard neuroscientist, genius, is in this book talking about the reptilian brain and how we make choices on this reptile level and how you can actually train your brain to make choices on a higher level. Literally train your brain like you go to the gym. He talks about that in the book. I mean, all this is stuff, this higher level stuff that we all can work on, and that's why the book's for everybody.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.